Welcome to the Equipped Disciple channel. My name is Rick McClatchy. I will be your host. We are here to be and to make disciples of Jesus, and we do that through daily devos, through Sunday sermons, and through other discipleship resources. We are here to equip you. Welcome into another day of your daily devos. I'm Pastor Rick, and we are jumping into Proverbs chapter 18. We did verse 1 yesterday. We'll scrape over the top of it today. We won't ignore it. But if you'd like to see verse 1 specifically, jump over to yesterday's video and check that out. Spent the whole time on that one verse because it's kind of a big one. So it's good to pay attention to it. Good to pay attention to it. Today we're going to jump into life in community, not isolation. Showing off your opinion, a fool's mouth, the lazy and the vandal, and the strong tower. There's a couple of things we're going to cover. So we are going to jump right into it. Verse 1, here we go. One who isolates himself pursues selfish desires, and he rebels against all sound wisdom. We talked about this yesterday, but man, it bears repeating. Be a person in community. Don't give in to the trappings of selfishness, self-centeredness, of really fear of hurt and pain. Because I know, like, anytime you get into relationships with other people, you put yourself out there, you expose yourself for hurt and pain and betrayal and all that kind of stuff. But I think that C.S. Lewis said it the best when he just talked about how you can build up those walls. You can, you put up walls on every side and keep yourself perfectly safe. And you'll find yourself in a very quiet coffin. Basically, you'll find yourself basically buried alive in your life because you will have closed off every other person that can have an impact. You'll be safe, but you'll be alone and cold. Verse 2, a fool does not delight in understanding, but only wants to show off his opinions. When a wicked person comes, contempt also comes, and along with dishonor and derision. Ugh. So life in community, not isolation, and just showing off your opinion is a sign of being a fool, right? So a fool doesn't delight in understanding, but only wants to show off his opinion. Like, doesn't care. He just wants to sound good, wants to put his opinion out there. So just make sure you're a person that is pursuing understanding, delighting in understanding, and not just letting people know what you think about that thing. And the words of a person's mouth are deep waters, a flowing river, a fountain of wisdom. It is not good to show partiality to the guilty and denying an innocent person justice. It's not good to show partiality to the guilty or deny an innocent person justice. And hey, we've talked about this quite a bit in the last few days of just how much God is committed to justice, having fair weights and measures, not having extra rocks in the bag on the scale and causing it to be giving a false reading on it, on the weight of things. You want to have balanced scales. A fool's lips lead to strife, and his big mouth provokes a beating. A fool's lips lead to strife, and his mouth provokes a beating. So this is kind of just in the bigger theme of a fool's mouth, right? And just how powerful our mouths are, how it can set us up for destruction. It can set us up for life. We eat the fruit of our lips, right? The fruit that our mouths produce will be the thing that we eat. And so a fool's mouth also is his devastation, and his lips are a trap for his life. A fool's mouth is his devastation, and his lips are a trap for his life. And a gossip's words are like choice food that goes down to one's innermost being. And the one who is lazy in his work is brother to a vandal. So the fool's mouth, like I said, we eat the fruit of our mouths. The fool's mouth is all about destruction, is all about strife, and it's all about bringing a beating on yourself, right? So it's like, watch your mouth. Don't be a fool when it comes to your mouth. Think very carefully about what you want to be saying. And again, going back to, where does your mouth speak from? Your mouth speaks from the overflow of your heart. So if you're having foolishness coming out of your mouth, take a look at your heart and allow the Lord to do some work on your heart so that the stuff that comes out of your mouth begins to be changed. Now, the gossip's words, so tasty. What are you talking about, Rick? The gossip's words are like choice food that goes down to one's innermost being. And this is kind of the trap, right, of gossip. Gossip can be so destructive. We've actually read a few verses here in the recent past couple days of Devos where it just talks about how gossip stirs up strife, gossip separates friends, all that kind of stuff, right? And so it's destructive, but it's so tasty. It's so good. It feels like it just fills your belly. You know, you're like, man. And so we have to be careful that we don't give in to those desires, those fleshly desires. And we need to be wise again in our words, wise with our mouths, wise with what our ears are listening to. So be wise with what you're listening to. Choose to walk away from that gossip conversation. Choose not to speak those gossip words. Oh yeah, even though it's so tempting. The lazy and the vandal. I thought it was an interesting connection, that they're like brothers. The lazy person and the one who destroys what other people do, whatever people have done. So there's a connection, between being lazy and having no care for what other people have done. Because you don't do the work, you don't find it valuable, so you're willing to then go and destroy other people's work. I just thought it was kind of insightful that it connected those two things. I never really had given it that much thought. And I thought, you know what? I think that that's really true, that they kind of go hand in hand. That as you're lazy, you're not willing to do your own work, to build your own thing, to move your own thing forward, then it makes you less caring towards the work of other people. When you have done your own work, then you know the work the other person has put in. You have more respect for what they have done, and then you have respect for the product of their labor. So you end up not being a vandal because you care and you respect other people's things, other people's work. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run to it and are protected. The wealth of the rich is his fortified city. In his imagination, it's like a high wall. Before his downfall, a person's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. Man, what a couple of verses right there. So first and foremost, the wealthy and their riches. Just kind of talking about this concept in verse 11 here. The wealth of the rich is his fortified city. In his imagination, it's like a high wall. So a lot of times the wealthy, if they're not followers of God, right? If they are not believers, then they start to basically look at their wealth as their high wall, their protection, their fortified city. But it's not. I mean, it does provide levels of protection. You can buy insurance, and you can buy bodyguards, and you can buy all kinds of stuff, right? So you can have some level of protection in the natural. Verse 10 says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and that the righteous run to it and are protected, because that is true protection. That's true safety. And so just recognizing that we want to make sure that we keep our eyes and our minds on the things above and not on things on the earth. We want to make sure that we keep our perspective pointed in the right direction. And also just the fact of the righteous run to it and are protected. Run to the name of the Lord. Run to the word of God. Run to these things. Take refuge in these things, right? So don't just expect God to come and protect you, but run to him and find yourself in his presence, in his word, resting in his name, like that you take that seriously, and that you are the initiator in some senses. I know God ultimately is always the initiator, but that we take the steps we need to take. Draw near unto the Lord, and he will draw near unto you. Now, before his downfall, a person's heart is proud, but humility comes before honor. And just, again, how important humility is, and to nurture a heart of humility before the Lord and before other people, so that we set ourselves up to receive the grace of God and honor where honor is due. So with that, a big hearty God bless you. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.